So right now I'm taking apart the entire frame again after displaying it for everyone to see. Taking all the parts off, leaving parts together and sanding them down, which I knew that's pretty much was required for that. Some parts I had to glue, like for example this tail part here, which I glued the edges. It's still a little wet, so once I'm done I'm going to sand it down with the 400 grit. Not here, just a little bit here because there's some parts that are together while two here are open, and I think that's meant for that. This is going to be a challenge. I'm going to sand that area down because a little bit of my finger touched it. But sanding it down and then of course painting it. And as you can see, this is a daunting task to paint this because, okay, one layer of paint is one thing, but it's going to be several layers divided up in several sections. This entire area here that shows this weird setup will be a separate paint. I don't know what to do it, whether I'm going to do it dark gray, light gray, maybe yellow, maybe some other color, I don't know. The little holes here is going to be a big challenge. I was thinking of spray painting it and then masking it, of course, those little holes, but it's going to probably be with a pen or something, or like a, you know, like a panel line marker, or the accent panel lines from Tamiya, which are good for this. So this one is one that's waiting for this to dry for glue. This one as well. This one is actually from a part that I removed. This part right here. It's actually from this one, which is weird, of course. I think it's this way. No, it's the other way. I was right. However, I wanted to show you this one. This is the one part that I knew right off the bat I was going to have problems, because sure, I could easily put the red part inside, then glue it, then paint the whole thing my color, then mask it, then paint the other part red. But I'm not doing that. First thing I just did I just glued the whole thing right now. And sooner or later, once it's dry, I'm going to sand it down. This one is also glued in, and that's sanded down as well. Now, Gunpla modeler by the name of Danny, also known as Danny Gunpla, said to cut, because there's two connectors here and here, so I cut the front and back part here and then sanded it down so it could slide in. The only problem is that there's this little notch that goes right in there. So I'm going to carefully cut it off. There we go. Oops. Just remove a little bit from the top. Be very careful what you do with this, alright? Alright. And I'll use the 400 grit. We'll sand it down a bit. If I did this right, it slides right in, like that. Then all I have to do is glue it at the one end here and there once it's finished painting. But then again, with all the amount of paint that's going to be on it, I wouldn't be surprised if I stick it in and it's going to be like, you know, chipping away. So I may, you know, with this, I'm only painting the two sides red. I'm not painting this top part, because then if I start pushing it in, the paint may chip off, so I have to remind myself not to do that. And if I do, I'll just sand it down. So these two are now complete. Perfect right there. Then of course the other parts I started to remove and sand down. I have a lot more parts to sand down, I haven't even gotten to the Odessa yet, so that's going to be taken down. And then I'm going to begin with the setting up with start, making the holes for the photo etch parts. Give me a few moments, okay? Alright, so I want to show off some problematic parts that's going to drive me absolutely nuts here. And I'm going to focus on the most obvious, this part here, the shoulder. The design, of course, is this part goes in there, the actual peg that connects to the chest area, the torso area, has an extended part here which connects to this, which of course connects to this part here. And I said this before, this would have been great if this entire section here, this design here, was a separate part where only these two were put together and this you clamp on top. Instead, it's the actual part of the mold part itself. So now I have to glue it and sand it down. That's not a problem. Problem is, now I have to commit to putting these parts in here, and that's going to drive me absolutely nuts. I never had an issue like this since, I guess, when I was building the side vernier parts of the Stormbringer. Now, I would say to myself, I could easily cut these off, and make my own part that goes right on top of it. Just get the dimensions right and all that stuff. But I'm not doing that. I can't do that right now. But I know somebody out there is probably thinking the same way. That's one. Two, not anybody's going to be looking at these shoulders or these parts because the fact that the entire Penelope system is going to be covered up. You're not going to see that because this whole thing is going to cover it up. Let me see here. So actually, go inside the inside pictures. So like here it is in flight mode. You don't see the shoulders. You may see the shoulders under it if you decide to do it in this position. But it's when you want to pose it like this. That's the one thing that I want to do separately. But then I'm going to invest a lot of time cleaning, gluing this, with all the parts together, then cleaning and sanding it down. Then I have to begin a tremendous amount of masking, just so I can max the parts and paint it to what I want, which I'm going to do anyway. I have no choice in the matter. So I took it apart right now to sand it down, the edges in, and now I'm going to commit to this. I can't believe I am, but let me just sand off some areas that I did not get to this part, because once this is in, it's done. It's yeah, I think this is the only gripe I have with this. I can imagine many people are experiencing the same issue. So just be prepared for something like this if you're really gonna prepare it for painting, for detailing, for competition or whatever. This part, I was hoping to keep this separate, but now I'm gonna have to paint it all one color. I did not want to do that, but yeah, I could probably still paint it two colors, either or. So we'll have to deal with that when the time comes. Let's see how it works, how it feels out. Let me just put the glue on this. A hefty amount of glue. Now besides this part, there's another part here that's also the same issue, and I'm going to show it to you at this moment. Give me a second here, I just want to make sure this is... I don't mind if it's sticking out a bit. I just want to squeeze it a bit so that way once it sands down, that's fine. Hopefully I can get that sanded down properly. That's good enough. The other issue is this. The actual shield, the arm shield type thing. This whole blue section is built in. Now, you don't barely see this, and there's a seam line right there. It's very, very thin, and clearly, you know, I can put these two together, no big deal. The only problem is, of course, they're so close together that I'm going to have to mask it and paint it the two colors I wanted. It's going to be a bit of a chore because look at the designs here. I wanted to paint this as well, but I would have to paint the blue, then put it into this part, close it, mask off the blue parts carefully, and then somehow carefully mask off these areas so I can paint the insides. This one's going to be interesting too. I could do that, or I can just leave it the way it is, paint the whole thing, prime the whole thing, paint it white, mask off the white parts, paint the whole thing blue, mask the blue parts, you know, remove these, and paint the details for this as well. That is the one thing that I'm going to have to do. And I think that's what I'm going to do right now. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up a bit and see if I can put a little bit of glue in here. Sorry. There we go. Now I have not run into any problems with the legs. I haven't even, during the course of the build of the legs, I didn't see any issues. Maybe I didn't see any issues during the build, and when I take it apart, I'm gonna have to like plan it out and say, okay, would this work this way or would it work another way? I don't know. There is a nub mark there, so once it's glued, I'm gonna use one of my thin sanding sticks and sand it down. But right now I'm going to cover this entire area here. I'm going to cover this one as well and pass a little bit there. So let me just do the other side, and we're going to continue on. If I find anything, I'll show it to you. So removing now the parts for the legs, and I wanted to show off a few things here and there. Leg part, the feet is going to be easy to paint, you know, with no issues whatsoever. Panels, part separation for the painting is not going to be a problem, so I already saw that. This one's going to be interesting to work with. Probably do one color here, and then maybe two colors there for this part here and here. You have these taken off from the leg itself. Let's just focus on this one here. This one is all one part minus the entire one part. It's two parts here. I already got rid of the two yellow parts, which we painted separate. And I didn't mention this before, and I think I'm going to do it. I may end up doing some photo etch parts on this one, on the specific areas of this. It may show. I think I'm going to do it on the legs and then the arms, not on the chest area, but I'll probably do the chest. Since the fact that the legs is going to be showing off more during the kit. And looking at this, paint separations will be easy to work with. This entire section here, I'm actually thinking of painting this blue, this whole thing area blue, because it actually looks okay like this, you know, with the whole part coming up, and then masking off this entire area there all the way around up to there for this. And this will probably be blue as well for that. This is not going to be an issue. That's actually going to be easy. This one, besides the painting, I am not fond of this at all. It is so blah, you know? It's like already molded in. This is the same thing with the back armored leg when I remove the parts from the flight system. So I'm slowly considering of actually drilling a hole there, drilling and cutting out this entire inner section here, and put a thruster there. Give it, you know, put a thruster in there, or maybe make the hole and put in the thruster through there. That's a possibility, but that's something we'll have to look into I don't know if I'll have time for this, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Now, these are the parts for this, but I wanted to show you this one, and this this brought me in, brought my attention another issue, kind of like I had with the shoulder armor parts, that you have these two parts here that go here and here, and when you close it, obviously there's going to be a seam line there. That's going to suck, that I have to now glue this together and then bend it and paint it so I can get different angles to do all this. But then I realized, no, it doesn't have to suck. I may have figured out a way to do this, because I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two together, right? Glue them up, sand them down, and then set it up where they slide in from the top. And for that to work, I'm going to cut off these two side parts here and here, but I'm not cutting off the pegs, just these two sides. In here, I'm going to cut off, and I'm going to probably do that right now. I'm going to cut off this and this. I'm going to do slow here. There we go. So these parts have been removed. This part I am just going to cut here and here, and this one here, and then put that off like so. So only this part is there. I repeat the same thing on the other side. The only difference is for this one, it's only one peg that I'm going to pop out and shave off. You guys are probably freaking out saying, oh my god, he's doing this? And I said, yes, I am doing it. There's almost see no damage there. Same thing, just cut off right there, right there, and this there. Alright. So, put this like that. So now, I could slide it in through there, but now we're back to this little part here. So, just remember that there we go. So it's nice that it's in there right now, and of course I don't have to worry about it not coming off, because then this will go right on it and seal the deal. See? A simple solution. And this solution actually came from somebody who showed me, there's another way of doing this. So I will have to thank Zach Aurelius again, because he showed me a way to do this on not this part or this kit, but it was on a previous mobile suit. He'll probably remember this if he's watching this video. But I said to myself that, I can do that. It's easy. So of course, removing this is not an easy thing. Oh, but I can remove this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to glue these two parts together. I'm going to repeat the same process with the other leg, and then we should be almost ready for me to clean it up and begin painting. But we're not done yet with the preparing. No. Let's do the one thing that you guys have been waiting for. Alright. I've finished cleaning all the parts best I could. Now we're going to do the making the holes for this, for the paneling, for the you know, for the photo etch parts. Now I started to take the first leg and figure out what I'm going to use for this, and I'm going to use the smaller one, the 1.5 hole photo etch parts here. Now the bigger ones I'm going to actually save for the bigger frame, for the bigger parts, while the regular body is going to be the smaller ones. This, and on the other one that I have. Now I actually ordered number 097 and 096 again. So those are going to come in the mail, so even if I can't get them all, I want to work with what I have for now, and then we'll put more on later on, depending on the outcome. So I'm going to take my Olaf knife to remove the blade. It's a bit worn out. It definitely needs a replacement. And I'm going to use this new product that I purchased this year, the Neuron's N006 etching plates, or tools, you know, hole tools. I know it's another name. Try to keep this in its baggie. So we're going to use the 1.5 right here. I don't know if this will work. No, I need the other tool. I think it's in my cabinet. Oh, there it is. This is actually a photo etch cutters. Or I can actually do that, but I'm going to grab it the best I could. There we go. I'm just going to bend it right there. There we go. There we go. There's a slit there that's cut. I'm going to probably end up sliding this part in there. Alright. There we go. See? Now, I did order something in the mail, and it came in this this little scribing tool, which I couldn't find it in the storage because I must have put it in one of the boxes inside of another box, and I can't find it, so I bought another one. This cost me $6 on eBay. And I'm going to use, not I'm going to use this for etching. I'm going to use this for to put in the little hole there. So I'm going to eyeball it. A pin vise would be preferable for this, but this one should be fine. I'm going to actually move it right here. So now I'm going to eyeball that from there. There. I think I got it. That was right there. I'm only putting one here because since this is cut off by this is actually perfect for me because there's 11 of those photo etch parts, those small ones, that will go onto this. So I counted the amount: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, I forgot these two up there. Oh, that's alright, I'm getting more anyway. That was right in between that, so that would be right there. I'll get to those in a minute, because that one's actually going to probably annoy me. Alright, let's see if we can do this. It's not digging the hole in because I guess you definitely need the pin vise for this. I just saw the pin vise on its storage. Yeah, making the hole there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's try to zoom in on that. There you go. Make sure you get the right depth and of this, and we're going to test this right now. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to have to use this. I'm going to use the small. Oops. Ah. I'm going to use this one as a test, and then put it back. Alright. What do you think of that? Not bad, right? That's good. I'm going to keep one of these out here so that way as I'm drilling the holes I want to make sure that it's nice and flush to the part. And then but I think I'm going to probably dig a little deeper because now I'm overthinking right here that when I paint it there's that extra layer of paint over it, and I may end up oversaturating a part that I may screw up. I could probably use the tool again to dig a little deeper again. But no, I think I'm gonna try to dig I'm gonna dig a little deeper, and then we'll continue on. So let me continue with all this. This is gonna take me a lot of time to drill. I don't know how many holes for this. And this is just going to be the body of the kit of the Odessa. We'll move on to the next stage in the next video, showing off the armor parts, drilling the holes for those.